It's Miss Richardson. I don't know why I felt like I had to tell you that it was Miss Richardson. But anyway, okay, so I'm coming to you from my lounge room today, and wearing my lovely, very fashionable dressing gown. So I wanted to film this today because my leg's been a bit sore this afternoon, and so I'm not sure what I'm going to do tomorrow yet. So I figured better safe than sorry. I'll make this video, and that way you have everything you need and you don't forget about me. And yeah, so that's what I'm going to do today. Now, so far we have done planning an essay. We've done introductions to an essay. And so what I'm going to do today is show you how to write paragraphs in your essay. So that should be really good. Hopefully you are feeling pretty, maybe, kind of, sort of, mostly confident about where we're at so far. If you're not, please shoot me an email and ask, because I'm here. Like, I know I'm not physically in the room with you, but I'm alive. Contrary to popular belief, I am still alive, so you can email me and ask me questions. Okay, please do. Okay, if you're worried, ask me, because I can help, I promise. Okay, right, so what we're going to be doing is looking at how to write arguments. So let's get down to business. Okay, Okay, so we've looked at all the basic rules. Hopefully you're comfy with those. If you're not, shoot me an email. Okay, ask me questions. Then we have gotten started. Is anybody really ready? And then we went through TACA. So hopefully you remember TACA. Remember, title, author, contention, arguments. They're the 4 things that you need in your essay. Okay, nothing more, nothing less, definitely no evidence. Okay, you got to leave something for the actual essay. Okay, let's keep going then. All right, boom, we're ready to move on. And this one is such a good one. I love this so much. Look at Obama kicking the door. Okay, so now we're talking about paragraphing. So you have your introduction, and that doesn't really count as a paragraph. We count the paragraphs as kind of the meat in between your intro and your conclusion. Okay, so paragraphs and teal. Now, if you've never heard about teal before, you are going to hear about it, Mr. or Miss. So yeah, let's talk about it. First off, rules about paragraphs. Number 1, all paragraphs must use teal. If you don't know what teal is, don't panic. 2, you can layer your evidence and your explanations to give more depth to your essay. Okay, so you don't have to just do 1 EE. You could do 2, you could do 5, you could do 20. Don't do 20. 2 is great. 3 is extraordinary. But yeah, like 20, I figure like I've just got other things to do than read your essay. I'm sure it's enjoyable, but like at some point I need to like do other things like eat and sleep and that kind of thing. Okay, never use these words in your paragraph. I, me, my, we, our, us. Okay, they're naughty words. We don't use those unless they're in a quote. That's different, okay, because you're quoting the text. But if you're talking about yourself and you're saying, I think this, I think that, no. You don't do that. You say, you know, this is the fact. So you say something like, so if you were going to say, I believe that Jonas is kind, instead of saying, I believe Jonas is kind, just say, Jonas is kind. It's easy as that. Just cut it off. Okay, the other thing, sentences do not begin with these words, and, but, because, so, with, or, or. They are what we call conjunctions. So they are the things that we use to put two sentences together. So they can't start a sentence because what they should actually do is be in the middle of two phrases that could have been two separate sentences, but you decided to join them together. So they don't start a sentence. Okay, so they're the rules. How are we going so far? Hopefully. Okay, let's keep going. It's not as easy as I presumed. There are rules. Look, it's not that hard. I promise. I promise. Pinky swear. Okay. Alright, so your first sentence in a paragraph is called a topic sentence. Okay? What a topic sentence does is it tells your reader exactly what you're going to talk about in the paragraph. It's almost like the introduction to a paragraph. So if you thought about each of the paragraphs as like a little mini essay on its own, then your first sentence, your topic sentence, would be your introduction to the paragraph. Okay? It should not have any evidence in there. Okay, so it shouldn't talk about something that happens in the text. It should just be one sentence that tells me what you are going to talk about in the paragraph, which would be your argument. It should just introduce what this paragraph's argument is about. Okay, because we do one argument per paragraph. So, the other thing that I would say is you should try to tie in some keywords to show that your marker to show your marker that you're answering the question. So, let me just zoom back a little bit. Okay, so in my piece I had 3 arguments. So that would mean I have 3 paragraphs, right? You do one argument per paragraph. Ooh, that was hard, I can't. It's hard to bend that finger without wanting to bend that one. Anyway. Getting distracted. Okay, yes. What was I saying? Oh, yes. I'm really tired today, I'm sorry. So I've got 3 arguments. Remember, my first one was people have to sacrifice things, and that's why sameness is not good. And then that people would be discouraged from doing things that make them special and unique. That was my second argument. And then my third argument was about that people wouldn't have the feelings of like deep love that you have for like family and people that you're in love with. And that would have to be sacrificed. So there were my 3 arguments, and I'm going to do one of those per paragraph. Okay? So my first paragraph is going to be about this first one, about sacrificing things that make the world beautiful. Okay? So let's zoom back. Okay, so here's my example. So I have to introduce the idea that Lois Lowry doesn't like sameness, and we know this because she shows that people have to sacrifice things in order to have sameness. So, the other thing that you should try and do is tie in those key words. So remember the red words from, sorry, I'm flicking all over the place. Hopefully I'm not giving you like motion sickness. So those red words that we've been using, that sameness. Okay, now, let's go back. I need like a shortcut, don't I? Okay, so here it is. Here's my example of a topic sentence. Lowry illustrates her disapproval of the community's insistence of sameness by showing that things that make the world beautiful have to be sacrificed in order to maintain sameness. Okay, so can you see how that sentence just makes it clearer? This is what I'm going to talk about in this paragraph. I'm going to talk about how Lowry disapproves sameness, which is shown through the fact that this community has to sacrifice things in order to have sameness. Okay, so it just introduces what I'm going to talk about in the paragraph. You with me? Okay, if you need to watch these bits again, feel free to. Okay, now, topic sentence, short, sharp, to the point. Okay, don't try and be too fancy. In fact, I think that's a really good rule for essay writing in general. I feel like when people run into problems, it's usually because they're trying really hard to be fancy when really they should just tell me what they think in short, sharp sentences. There's a good tip for you, okay? Impress me with your ideas and then sprinkle in some fancy. All right, I will see you in the next video to talk about evidence. Woohoo!